Hey guys, welcome back to Growing with Simon, and in today's video we're going to talk about microgreens. So originally I did not want to get into microgreen business because you have to babysit these things. All the videos you see about it being passive, it is definitely not passive. When you're germinating, you have to mist them every day if you're using a non-soil based grow media, and then after that you have to water them for anywhere from 5 to 6 days every single morning. So there's a 10-day grow period. So in those 10 days you're doing something every day, which means that you can't go, on holidays from the weekends. You can't stay somewhere overnight because you have to water them every morning or else they're gonna die. So the reason why I got into it is because I found a way to automate everything. So I will show you my rack, and everything in here is in the description. Some of it is Amazon links. It's affiliated. Appreciate the support, but all of it will also be from the stores that I bought because you can't buy some of these things on Amazon. So let's have a quick look. So I have two racks here, and rack number 1 is slightly different than number 2, and I'll show you the difference afterwards. So it's a 5-tier rack, but I'm only using 4 because the bottom one wouldn't be able to drain into my container. So essentially these here are your Botanicare flood trays, which are 2x4, and they fit perfectly in these baker's rack. That's what they're made for. So we have a 3/4 out and only a 1/2 inch in. And the reason why I did it this way is because if for any reason the pump does not turn off, it will drain faster than it will fill, and it will never flood. And then I have these fans, 2 fans on this side, 2 fans on the other side, and I have 1 light. So the reason why I only have 1 light, after looking at a lot of different ways of growing, is I do not do a blackout. I want to keep this grow as simple as possible. So I germinate for 4 days, I flip them in here on the Friday, and then I just let them be. They just grow on their own, they water on their own, and that's my schedule. So that way when I'm gone on the weekends, I don't have to be here, which is nice. So let's just go all the way down here. So there's the 4th one. This is my sunflowers. So the sunflower fan is the only one that I do not keep on, simply because I want the top to stay a little bit damp so the seeds can come off. And then we'll look inside this here, and this I wash it every week. I have a 1/3, a third pump. That's right there. And for some reason I saw somewhere where they had a bubbler. For the amount of watts that it uses, I think it's like 3 watts. I got the bubbler anyways. I don't think it's needed though. So this is the setup. The only thing you have to do here is just top up the water every 4 days or so. You don't need to be here all the time. So rack difference, you will notice a height difference. So this one here, this rack is a lot higher, and you don't need that height. So I went with, if I were to go for more racks, would be this one here. So essentially every morning at 7 o'clock the pump turns on for only 1 minute, and it floods the whole thing, and then it drains it out afterwards. If you're gonna do this setup here, you have to, let me just pull this out here. Let me show you real quick. You have to drill some holes right at the bottom here so that it actually floods right down. Because if not, it's only going to flood down to here, which leaves you about 3/4 of an inch of water inside your tray, which you wouldn't want. So I drilled a lot of holes all the way around these things. That way it gets drained right to the bottom. And if you look inside here, there's no water. There's no water here. Okay, so besides that, what else? Yeah, so I'll put a link for everything. Extension cords. You'll notice here that I have quite a bit going on here. I got 1, 2, and I actually have one on the other side. This was my first rack setup. Not the best, too many extension cords. And the reason why is because I have all my lights, the plugs, on the one side. So we'll go with my second rack here, which one here is a lot cleaner. So I was able to put 2 plugs for my lights, the top 2 on the other side, 2 plugs of lights on this side here with all my fans, which just looks like this. And if I go on this side here, so I only have 2 extension cords, And that Casa plug, that's the plug for my pump. So it literally just goes on for 1 minute, and then it just, the water comes out. I'm still testing this out. I think on the last day, which would be the Wednesday, I'm going to have it run for 2 minutes, just because the plants are bigger and they take more water. And I don't run the pump on Thursday because that's my harvest day, and I don't run it on Friday because Friday is the day that this is actually, there's nothing in here, because that's the day that I transfer from germinating to my flood trays. So essentially that gives me Thursday to clean everything up, which it doesn't take much time. You know, you just spray with some hydrogen peroxide, scrub it a little bit, and rinse the water out a couple times, set the pump for like 5 minutes or so to do a rinse, and then just clean your totes. When the water's gone, well, gone as in like when the water's in your trays, your tote is fairly empty, so you'll be able to wash the walls and do the kind of cleaning and just the maintenance. And then from there, each one has a small valve. That way you can control the flow of the water. So obviously the bottom one fills up faster. That's why my sunflower's down there. And it's also because I don't want the shells to fall on my crops. And then I have my peas here because they're the one that require the second most amount of water. And then my broccoli and my radish are the ones that require the least amount of water. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions whatsoever about this setup, send them in the comments and I will answer everything. And I will see you in the next one.